Hey everyone, Austin here again with another quick play video. This time another 3-for-1 deal. I had a lot of fun doing the previous one where I was playing some classic Sega 16 arcade games through the Xbox 360, well technically on the Xbox Series X, but via backwards compatibility. And I thought, you know what, let me go through my library, see what else I have that's arcadey. And it turned out I had a bunch of arcade games by Konami that were also Xbox 360 releases and are also backwards compatible on the Series X, which we're playing them on. And so what we have here today is Scramble, Time Pilot, and Frogger, the venerable Frogger. These are actually really fun games. Obviously, everybody knows Frogger, but in more recent years, I started to dabble with Scramble and Time Pilot and found them to be just very, very fun shoot-'em-ups from the golden age era of arcade gaming. So yeah, for anybody that doesn't know, this is my casual series of sort of pick up and play attempted playthroughs. Very casual. I talk about a bunch of things, including strategies, but also just anything else I feel like talking about. So this is a very casual series. Kick back, relax, enjoy the gameplay, and yeah, we're gonna start off this video with Scramble. Then we'll move on to Time Pilots, and then we'll end off with Frogger. So Scramble is an early scrolling shoot 'em up. It's one of the earliest scrolling shoot 'em ups I can think of, and it's got an interesting mechanic where you can drop bombs, but you can also shoot straight forward. It's a pretty fun game. Very memorization heavy, but the first level I think we'll probably do okay at. All these games are very difficult. Time Pilot I can foresee us doing the best at because I'm the most familiar with it, the most comfortable with it. Frogger I'm just absolutely terrible at, but well, you guys can just watch me get destroyed by water and cars and trucks and whatever. But yeah, we're gonna start off with Scramble. These are our early emulation packages. This is like a super early Xbox Live Arcade, a very, very common menu using these emulation packages for arcade games back in the day on Xbox Live Arcade games. But let's go to our settings. I just want to make sure that everything's default. You can usually add enhanced sound and graphics on these conversions, or these emulation packages, I should say. But I always like to leave them on original. And the volume is actually maxed out. Lives are at 3. Like on my Sega video, I described how on some of these Xbox Live Arcade games, if you alter the settings, then your high scores will not be uploaded to the leaderboards. So you have to play on default settings if you want to access the leaderboards. And the leaderboards do still exist. Let's check out my controls. You cannot change your controls in this, so it looks like hopefully my D-pad works here. It should work. I'm pretty sure I've used an arcade stick for this before. But A shoots, B drops bombs. And let's go ahead and hit back. And let's go to done. And let's go ahead and just start Scramble. So, yeah, really fun arcade game. Let's go ahead and hit A to start. And it looks like on this one, we actually have borders. I don't think you can turn off. But yeah, you can use the D-pad. Good. And yeah, you've got bombs. You can shoot straight forward. If I recall correctly, in a lot of cases, I like to actually try to get in front of enemies and then just shoot them straight up if I can. Now, you do have a fuel meter, it looks like. And you do need to actually attack those canisters. Otherwise, your fuel will run out, and I'm pretty sure you will die. So... now, the interesting thing about the bombs in this is that they have a very particular arc, and so you have to kind of like predict or anticipate where they're going to go and shoot them early in order to line up with objects on the ground. It's doing pretty well so far, but this is kind of a fast game. It's just constantly moving. It does not stop, and so that could be a little overwhelming. But now we have just regular sort of little UFOs. Got the fuel, very nice. Try to hit as many enemies as we can. This is a score-based game. And so obviously you want to kill as many things as you can to boost your score and improve on those leaderboards. I actually have a couple of friends that are on my Xbox 360 list, or Xbox Live friends list. Ooh, I totally forgot about those fireballs. That's going to be a tough section. I have some friends on my Xbox Live list where I sort of compete against them for score. I kind of see their leaderboard, positions, and I try to do better. I try to improve my game. And so a couple of years ago in particular, I was spending a lot of time going through the various Xbox Live Arcade games that I have access to and trying to sort of compete with some of my online friends. Woo, that was really close. That was actually very close. That's intense. Okay, we have to come on up here. Yeah, this is a very, kind of forward-thinking game at the time. I mean, there weren't that many scrolling shoot-'em-ups at this time. It was a lot of single-screen stuff. Like, I think even in 1981 here. And, yeah, I don't think Scramble gets, like, enough credit. It's, like, one of the first of its kind. And it's actually, you know, by shmup standards, it's actually still really fun. It's difficult, it's unique, and I highly recommend it if you guys have never played it before. If you like the early era of shoot-'em-ups, then this is definitely a must-play if you ask me. Now, if I recall correctly, I think I have to get forward and really do this perfectly, otherwise I die. I think that's pretty much how it works. Memorize or die. It sounds like a Sega arcade game. Yeah, my last Sega video did not go too well in terms of gameplay. All those games we played were extremely brutal, especially Altered Beast in the arcade. But yeah, you have to do this pretty much flawlessly, otherwise, you know, you end up getting a game over. How many lives do we have? I think I have 1 life left, actually. Let's see if we can get through this. Can we get it? Okay. Looks like I have to go backwards. You actually kind of have to do that in one of the... No, 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 no. Wow, you have to do that just flawlessly. That's got to be flawless. That's messed up. This is just the first level, Konami. Come on. This is the first level. Let me at least beat the first level. It's going to be embarrassing if I can't. I think I have to actually just kind of do this a little bit faster. Oh yeah, I have to be really quick with this, and I don't have it memorized just yet. Can we get it? Can we get it? Can we get it? Oh, I think we got it. And another one. Can we get this one? We got it. Okay. I don't know if I was supposed to do anything there. I think I might... Oh, this is... I don't even know what I'm doing here. I don't think I've even gotten to this point. Let's try to destroy this thing. Okay. It looks like... Okay, I've never actually done that before, so that was completely new to me. I guess I was supposed to just destroy that object. I was half tempted to try to land on the Konami signs. I was like, is that a landing pad? I'm glad I didn't try that, because we would have gotten ourselves a game over. But alright, we're on to level 2. I've never actually gotten to level 2 before, sadly. Because level 1 is just hard enough as is, but that's good progress. Now I'm going to have to come back and try to put up even higher scores than before. Not that my scores were all that high to begin with. But a lot of my friends that, you know, are on the leaderboards, they might play like a couple levels and that's it. Enough for me to, you know, have an excuse to try to learn the games at least a little bit. Because even getting past the first levels on these games is tough. So, same kind of thing as before. And what's interesting is you've got the bar at the top of the screen that kind of tells you what phase you're on. So this is the first phase, second phase, third, fourth, fifth, and then the base section. Let's get some fuel, hopefully. Oh, I missed the fuel completely. I bet you, I guarantee you later on in the playthrough, fuel gets a lot more sparse. Alright, fireball section again. It seems like kind of staying low is actually a good strategy. Okay. Yeah, staying low seems to actually work pretty well. Yeah, this section is intense. These fireballs, they come by really fast. Super fast. Alright. That is shiesty. I'm just mashing the bomb button. Because those missiles, like, right below me are scary. I don't know which ones are gonna fly up, which ones aren't. And I'm assuming I don't get extra lives from points in this, because I haven't gotten one yet, as far as I'm aware. It would be really nice if I could. Alright. This is our 5th section here. Looks like it's about the same as before, so I have to be quick here. Okay. Come on down. Go up. Alright, looks like we're gonna get it. Very nice. And my fuel is still ticking down. So I guess you can technically run out of fuel here. Alright, let's try to grab this. Got it. Ooh, that was... I barely made that. I almost, like, clipped that. Clipped the corner of that building. Alright, on to level 3. I have never made it this far before, so... This is pretty cool. I'm glad I actually fired this up. Because there's nothing like making progress in an old game you thought you were just kind of like roadblocked at. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I clipped the top of the mountain. Oh man, that's rough. That is rough. But yeah, that's Scramble. How far can you invade our Scramble system? Yeah. Very fun game. I'm definitely going to have to come back to that. So, with that, guys, let's move on to Time Pilot. Alright, so just like before, we've got help and options. Let's go ahead and check our settings real quick. Looks like everything is on default. And so let's go ahead and just leave it on that. Let me check my controls real quick. So it looks like just A to shoot, and that's it. Yeah, it's a one-button game. I forgot about that. But Time Pilot, unlike Scramble, it's actually a top-down shooter, and you can actually shoot in all directions. So what I recommend is you just constantly be wiggling your shots back and forth. And what we want to do is actually go for the bigger ships. You have to defeat a certain amount of planes or aerial objects, and then like a boss ship comes out, and that's kind of like the whole idea. Let's go ahead and start. And yeah, this is a really fun game. This is one of the ones I got into more recently. Recently being like the last 6 or 7 years. It's been a long time now, actually. But this is like one of my favorite early Konami arcade games now. It's just super fun. It also looks decent. And it's just got really fun gameplay. These little guys, you can actually try to grab for some good points. And so, again, all these early arcade-era arcade games are all about the score. They're not about completion. They're all about getting points, and that is pretty much it. Now, there are objectives that can get you points faster, like, again, grabbing those friendly guys, like these guys right here. That's 1,000 or 3,000 points. Very nice. But you'll notice on the bottom left-hand part of the screen, as you kill enemies, a little meter builds up, and when the meter fills up all the way... Oh, actually, it depletes. Sorry. It's the... Oh! That bomb hit me. That was bad. The meter actually depletes, and then once it's fully depleted, a little boss comes out, and you need to destroy that boss to advance to your next level. However, you advance through time. That's why it's called Time Pilot. So you go through different eras, which is a fun concept, especially for, you know, the early 80s. So now we're in 1940, Stage 2. Yeah, you can see the meter is really big now on the bottom. But I have 2 lives. And you basically just constantly stay in motion. You never stop in this game. You are always moving. But where you move to is up to you. Do you go up? Do you go left? Do you go down? Do you go right? Do you go diagonally? Do you line up with these bigger enemies and try to get rid of them for some extra points? Or do you just kind of constantly go for these little popcorn enemies, as we call them, and shoot 'em ups? Basically, the enemies that you can kill very, very quickly. There's usually bunches and bunches of them. Like popcorn. You know, you buy a bucket of popcorn, and there's a lot of pieces of popcorn. And just like pieces of popcorn, you know, you can eat a whole handful of popcorn and, you know, take out a bunch of pieces of popcorn right away. And you can kind of do the same thing with these popcorn enemies. That's why we call them popcorn enemies. Big bunches of enemies that you can take out really, really fast. So, let's go ahead and grab this guy, get some points. And it looks like you do get extra lives from points in this. That's actually really nice. Scramble, unfortunately, you do not. I was really wishing we would get extra lives in Scramble. But we did not get one. Alright, so the boss should be appearing here. Yep, that's it. For some of these guys, I like to just line up from the back, just like that. Take them out real quick. Hopefully we can get through all the sections before the game loops. But it's really tough to do that. Actually, whenever I fire up this game, which has actually been a little while, it's been a little while since I played this. I don't usually get to the very end and then loop back to the beginning. So just like a lot of arcade games, you know, you get to a certain point and then the game just kind of repeats, but it gets harder. But Time Pilot's last level or two are actually pretty challenging. Enemies are actually very erratic and unpredictable. But on these earlier levels, they're not too bad to deal with, really. These homing missiles are not fun to deal with, though. I will say that. Very scary. Alright, we only have one life left. Can we get to the next level? Let's see. Yeah, Time Pilot, it's a really fun game. It's one that I kind of wish I put more time into back in the day. Through either the, you know, like an emulated arcade version or some of its other home conversions. I remember playing an MSX version. But it's a fun concept. It is definitely a fun concept. Alright, can we do this? Oh, that's close. Alright, there we go. Whew. We've got 0 lives left. Hopefully I can get at least one more extra life. Alright, on to level 4, 1982. So, slightly more modern aircraft. And later on, you actually go into the future, and I think you fight, like, UFOs and stuff like that. It's like I said, it's a fun concept. Very fun concept. I need another extra life. Give me another extra life. No! Game over. Well, that was a bummer. I didn't get to show off the whole game. No continues. But, yeah. It's fun, though. I love Time Pilot. It's a lot of fun. So, and I don't know if I mentioned it yet, but you can still actually get all of these games on the Microsoft Store. You can still play them on the Xbox 360. I think they're $5 a piece, and then they're also backwards compatible on both Xbox One and the Xbox Series consoles. And again, we're actually playing these on the Xbox Series X. And so, I really love how Microsoft has handled the backwards compatibility. It's great being able to play these games on basically 3 generations of hardware. And they're still available for purchase. So, that's always fun. Some of these, I think, are even available on physical discs as well for 360. Under, you know, Konami did a bunch of Xbox Live Arcade game re-releases. It was like 3 games on 1 pack typically, and they had a couple of different versions. So I'm pretty sure at least Frogger is on one of them, but Scramble and Time Pilot might also be available on them too. If anybody knows for sure, let me know. I didn't look that up before doing this video, but yeah, with that, guys, let's go ahead and move on over to our last game, which is going to be Frogger. Alright, so just like before, let's go ahead and go to Help and Options once more. Just make sure everything's on default settings. And wow, you don't even have enhanced graphics or sound on this one. Very interesting. The enhanced graphics and sound was actually very common for the Konami you know, emulation packages by Digital Eclipse. You know, Contra and Super Contra have them. You know, some of the other games have them as well. I'm surprised Frogger doesn't, considering how popular it was. Let's check our controls. Yeah, Frogger has no face buttons, just the directional pad, and that's it. So let's go ahead and jump into Frogger. Like I said, I'm not very good at Frogger. It is a fun game, but it's one that I've never been particularly good at. So let's go ahead and jump in. So the idea with Frogger is basically just to take your frog across the road and across the water and place him in one of these slots. When you place him into all 5 slots, you basically go on to your next level. Now, every level gets trickier and trickier with more obstacles. This first level looks like we'll probably do okay at. Let's go ahead and... Uh-oh! Let's go back. Looks like some of these like little turtles you can ride, they'll actually go underwater. And funny enough, your frog can't go in water. Your frog does not like water for some reason. So alright. What is this power-up here? I assume that's a power-up. Oh, I don't know what the power-up actually does. If anybody knows, let me know. I haven't figured it out just yet. Oh, and that's right. I think there's like an enemy that can appear in one of the slots. And when that happens, if you try to jump into the slot, the enemy will actually kill you. So, that's pleasant. Alright, level 1 down. Very cool. Alright, on to level 2. Not much fanfare there. Looks like the traffic patterns are a little more dense. Yeah, it looks like there's an alligator. And there's another one. I wonder if you can ride the alligator like it's back. Like I said, I've never really played a lot of Frogger. It's a game that's always been fun, but I've always had other... Whoa, why did I not make that? That was interesting. I've always enjoyed other Golden Age era arcade games more, because there's so many to pick from. There's so many to play, so many to pick from. I've always, you know, especially resorted to the shoot-'em-ups in particular, and there's a lot of arcade shoot-'em-ups from that time period. That is really weird. I don't know why I keep dropping. Maybe it's because the turtles were kind of going underwater. Maybe that affects, like, your jump arc. Like, you don't go as far if you jump when the turtles are going underwater. I think that's probably what was happening. Looks like these turtles don't want to go underwater, so let's go ahead and just ride them all the way over. Yeah, and you are timed as well, so you have to be really quick. Alright, we might actually get this. Nice, we got it. Heck yeah. Yeah, look at those traffic patterns now. This is getting mean. Frogger seems like a mean game. It might be cute and all, but it's mean at the same time. It's like a little kid. Oh no! I just got wrecked. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna actually go ahead and play that again, because that was actually really fast. That was faster than Time Pilot. So let's go ahead and try it again. Alright, there we go. There's one. Oh no! I went off the screen! It doesn't look like you loop with the logs, unfortunately, so I completely botched that. That was bad. Alright, there we go. Yeah, the traffic pattern is so much more empty now. Alright, we're just gonna ride this guy all the way over. Oh, I clipped the edge. We're learning a lot of things here. So, you have to be really precise with your movements in this game, otherwise you will die. Poor little Frogger dies a lot. Alright, there we go. Let's try to get our last one. If anybody knows what this power-up does, let me know. Drop a comment down below. Alright, on to our next level. Yeah, traffic patterns are much faster now. And you've got little car sound effects too. I do wonder how this emulation stacks up compared to the original arcade game. I know the image is a little soft here, unfortunately. That was actually very typical for these digital Eclipse emulation packages. Although, they did look a lot better on CRTs. Which is actually, you know, when the Xbox 360 was around. It was like the very end of the CRT era. The original Xbox 360 consoles didn't even have an HDMI port on them. To kind of put that into perspective. Now, you could still do HD via the component cables, but your TV had the support component. And there weren't a lot of, like, HD cathode ray tubes out there. And so I think a lot of, like, early gamers with Xbox 360s still used a CRT for at least a little bit. I know I did. I actually kept rocking a CRT for a very long time. But I'd imagine HD, true HD, for a lot of gamers, probably didn't happen until a little bit later into that generation when consoles started having, you know, HDMI. Oh no, I clipped the edge again! Oh well, so we're not getting to level 3 again. But that is, that's Frogger. That was actually another fun quick play I had. I love these old arcade games. I love arcade games in general. It's probably my favorite kind of gaming, outside of some, you know, select other choices like classic first-person shooters, which actually kind of originated, you know, with, you know, arcade roots as well. So, yeah, I guess they're still kind of arcadey too. But yeah, I love playing arcade games, which is why I have such a large library of old arcade games on Xbox 360. And, you know, thanks to Microsoft's backwards compatibility program, a lot of those are, you know, are brought forward onto the Xbox One and the Xbox Series X, which allows me to do videos like this nice and easy. I can just bust out my Series X and just kind of like bounce around from game to game, and it's a good time. So, but yeah, that's going to do it for me, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. If you have any other games you want to see me do a quick play on, let me know. Drop a comment down below. Also, feel free to share your feedback on the video series. I know this is a super casual series, so you can't expect too much, but any feedback's appreciated. And, you know, hopefully you guys just continue to enjoy these. So I'm enjoying making them. It's good times. It's also not that time consuming. I can crank out a few in a few hours and have content for you guys and have fun while doing it. And that's kind of part of the point of this whole thing we call YouTube, at least for me. So, but that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you once again for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you're new to my channel, and feel free to give the video a thumbs up if you've made it to this point. And with that, I don't have anything else. So wherever you are in the world, have yourselves a fantastic day or night. And until the next one, take it easy.